Hi everyone, it's Vicki at Stamp with Vicki. It's great to have you here. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to create a triple cube pop-up card. We'll be using the Magic in This Night suite of products found on page 53 in the mini catalog. I'll briefly show you. Here is the Hallows Night Magic stamp set. So it's so fun, and clearly we are thinking about getting into autumn and Halloween and all things holidays coming up. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I've made a couple of these cards. This is essentially the one that we're going to make today. We're going to be using a different designer paper and the bats instead of the spiders. And the reason for that is because when I sat down to create this video the other day, I thought I had plenty of time before dinner was going to be delivered. And guess what? It came in record time, so I totally didn't. I got about 90% of the way through and used all my product. So I cut up some new ones, and we're going to just make a little twist on that one. And I've also created the same card with the Gilded Autumn Suite, or Gilded Autumn Bundle. I didn't write down the name of that one. I'm sorry about that. So anyway, you can see, it's a little hard to see from this angle, but these cards, they sit up, and then that's what they look like. They're really fun to make, and they're easy. Just, there's many parts and pieces, but that's the hardest part of it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so to create the card base, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that is cut to 8 1/4 by 8 inches. And I have pre-cut this because then I want to score it. I'm going to take the 8 1/4 inch side. Whoops, excuse me. Okay, I marked it so I would remember. And I'm going to put that across the top. So it's going to essentially be in landscape orientation. It's just a little trickier to tell that because the card is the square is so close. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take the cardstock, and here I'm using Pretty Peacock, and we're going to score it at 2 inches, 4 inches, whoops, you open it up. I love how this opens up, it's so great. 6 inches, and 8 inches. And so that means we're going to have a little bit, about 1/4 inch tab at the end. I will have all of the supplies and measurements listed on my blog, and in the descriptions I'll have some of that as well after the video is finished. So we're going to do, we can put this down now, is now you can see that we have all the score lines. We're going to turn it. We're going to use this 1/4 inch strip really as our guide as we're making the card. We're going to cut it now. We're going to cut it at 2 inches. Again at 2 inches. And that's it. Okay, so essentially what you're going to have, well, what you will have, not essentially, you're going to have 2 pieces of 2 inch strips and 1 piece of a 4 inch strip. And that's going to be the base of your card. Is going to create all the cubes, all the 3 cubes. I'm going to set that aside because the magic of TV, right? I did start to kind of assemble some of this because there's just many parts and pieces, and you don't need to watch all that repetition. We'll put this one aside for now. I started with these 2 inch strips. So what you're going to need is you're going to need 8. For this card, I used, we're going to turn it over, black, 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 inch square. You're going to need 8 of them, and then you're going to need 8 squares of the designer series paper at 1 3/4 square. So 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. a little fuzzy. And then these are going to layer. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I've done that with most of them. Like I said, you're going to need a total of 8 of these. So my card the other day, I actually ran out of my Stampin' Seal. So I'll have to get some more of that. And I figured, well, since I had some of the snail left, we'll go ahead and use what I have. But I do like the new Stampin' Seal and the new Stampin' Seal Plus. Super cool. Okay. So we're going to save these 2 pieces here that I just assembled. We're going to save those. We're going to come back and use those a little bit later. But I am going to show you, I've done, I've completed this strip. I'm going to show you, just how we did it, how we can assemble. You're going to take the Designer Series paper. Now this one actually has a pattern that goes in a specific direction. You're going to start just under that 1/4 inch strip. Remember I told you we're kind of use that as a guide today. And you're going to adhere 3 of these squares. Once again, I think the biggest thing to keep in mind with this is the direction of the Designer Series paper. Some papers, the designs are in all sorts of directions and it doesn't really matter. The spiders, for example, is like that. But for this one, we're just going to be mindful of that and throughout as we're making the card. So you'll see I have the 2 strips now and they have 1, 2, 3 and the bottom is blank. So that's going to be where we assemble, you create the cube. We're going to assemble it to make a cube. On the opposite side, again, I have 8 pieces of, you can see, I guess, it's bats. The bat piece of the Designer Series paper. Say that 3 times fast. And now for the bats, you're going to cut them at 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 inch squared. We're not going to layer the inside. We're just going to put it straight down onto the cardstock. So it just makes the card heavier and there's just not really a need for it. And you are going to go ahead, you can put all 4 pieces on, okay? Now, this longer strip is going to create the back side of your card. Once again, we're going to start just under, oops, it's going to be like this, sorry. It's going to be underneath, well, next to, I guess, that 1/4 inch strip. This time, we're actually just going to put 1 on the outside for now. Ooh. You know what? I cut that black paper. I'm going to have to, no wonder that looked funny. I guess I cut that a little bit too. All right, well, this is going to look funny, but that's okay. I'll see after if I can go back and doctor them up. Let me get that off. I thought it looked a little wide and I didn't measure again. Okay. The actual size of these is, the black cardstock is 1 7/8 by 3 7/8, and then your layer will be 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. So you can tell we're, kind of similar to the smaller pieces. There we go. Okay. Well, so once again, I'm trying to be mindful of the direction of the cardstock, and I'm starting just to the right of the 1/4 inch strip. We're just going to leave this right now. I'm going to turn it over. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to add in the 4 strips of the Bat Designer Series paper for the inside. Again, you're just watching, well, this is already cut, I guess, in the direction that it needs to be going, because the bats do kind of go in a specific direction. You're going to add all 4 of these pieces. And I just cut 2 4. All right, well, let's see. I guess we'll go with it. I'll fix that later too. To create the cubes, Well, you know what? Let's find, give me just 1 second. Oh, there you go. I really don't want to leave it. I'd rather just take the time now and show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 1 7/8 inch strip. By 3 7/8. And we're going to do that twice. So we're going to have 4 of these strips total. There we go. All right. I'll feel better about that. Go ahead and assemble these. All going in the same direction. Oops. Perfect. Okay. Now to create the cubes. So what you're going to do is I used the Tombow liquid glue. You can probably also get away with the tear and tape, but I think that the Stampin' Seal Plus might be a little bit wide. And this also kind of gives you a little bit of give and movement when you're putting the card together. So we're going to go ahead and just bring it around, adhere it onto the top, and we're just going to wait for a second for this to cure a little bit. It really just takes a second. And you can see that's going to be the back cube. Now, remember this guy. I did put, I wasn't thinking, so I already put adhesive on it, but we're just going to put the liquid adhesive on it. And this is going to create the back of the card. But I wanted to put the cube together. And so this way it'll hide it. I do want to tell you, I forgot to mention it at the beginning, is that the inspiration for my card came from France Martin, who's a super talented demonstrator. Gosh, you guys, I don't know. I think she's in the US. But anyway, I want to thank France for her really cool bourbon card. That was really neat. Okay, so that's going to be the back side. And you can see we have 2 blank sides left. So we're going to create the small cubes in the same direction, same way. We're going to put the liquid glue on the sort of like the underside of that 1/4 inch strip. We're going to bring it over top, hold it just for a second, see that it sticks. And leave it. You want to leave it blank. I'm going to do the second one as well, and I'll show you why. My first instinct when of course I wasn't paying attention, the first card that I made out of any of them with this, I then put the extra 1 7/8 inch squares on this piece. That's not where it goes. And you'll see in just a second. All right. So now to put the 2 small squares with the larger cube, you are actually going to take your adhesive and you're going to put that on here. Probably want to use some really strong adhesive, so the liquid glue would be a good one. And you're also going to watch the direction of your designer paper. Now this is kind of a nice way to do it. Can you see what I'm doing here? So I'm lining up the score line with the bottom of the card. And again, this adhesive allows you a little bit of grace. So you're just going to line it up basically along that bottom quadrant. And you do the same thing with the other side. And you're going to watch and make sure that the designer paper is going in the same direction. I think that's probably good. Yeah. So you can see on the underside, thankfully, I did it right and it's going in the same direction. I'm just going to give it a quick second, you know, to dry just a little bit. And then, as you can see, what's going to happen is this is going to create the box, the cube card. So as it sits, it'll sit like that. This is what it looks like right now. So do you remember those two squares that we had from earlier? Now you're going to take those and you're going to adhere them here. I'm still going to use the mono liquid glue for that, just in case, because I'm coming in at sort of like a funny angle. I know I keep reminding you once again, be mindful of the direction of the designer series paper. Now, if you're really smart and plan, you can probably cut this, you know, make this so that it goes all together as if it was on the actual strip. I didn't plan ahead. I thought about it in the middle and I thought, oh man, that would have been so cool, but it's all good. There we go. Okay, so the last cube. Yeah, see, I wasn't very straight with that. There we go. Okay, so that's that. For the longer side, remember, you know what? I have an extra, oh, that's right, I had an extra piece that I cut when I cut the other ones. Okay, we're good. All right, so this is the card. Wish I had a better way to show you direction-wise. I'll take still shots of it though, so you can have that, and that'll definitely be on my blog. There we go, so you can see. Now we're just going to decorate it. So again, I think I said that I did use the Ornate Frames dies, and I cut out this fun frame out of the black shimmer or glimmer designer paper, which is super fun. And this doesn't, you know, the glitter on this doesn't rub off. It stays put. Whoop, whoop. All right, so I'm going to come in with the Pretty Peacock ink and the stamp that says there is magic in this night. I have just a piece of scrap Whisper White. And then for this, I used the 1.5 inch circle punch. And once again, I'm going to use the Tombow liquid glue. And adhere it, there we go, to that ornate frame. Pretty cool. These colors are so perfect for Halloween. I'm going to leave that here for just a second. I've also cut out this, it was a strip and I've cut it in half down to fit the 1 3/4 inch cubes, excuse me. So I'm going to attach that with the liquid glue as well. Now the back of this glimmer paper is actually more matte than the other one. Was pretty slippery, the old ones that we had. So I don't know. It's kind of a different paper altogether. All right. There we go. A little Halloween pizzazz. And then we're going to go ahead and match that right on the other side. Oh, probably even too much for the liquid glue. You probably don't even need that much, but that's okay. what I think is fun about this card is there are, you know, all these different cubes to decorate any way you want to. And you can get as crazy with it as you want, or as simple, and it looks neat either way. Now it's time. Well, you know what? We're going to actually stamp the Happy Halloween. Let's do that. We have to cut that out. Okay, so again, in Pretty Peacock, Happy Halloween. Close off my Pretty Peacock. And I am fussy cutting it. Yes, I am fussy cutting. But it'll be quick because I'm only going to be so fussy about it. When you're fussy cutting, you want to make sure that you turn the paper more than your scissors. Whoopsie. There we go. Happy, and then Halloween. Our die set doesn't come with one for the word, you know, dies to cut out the words, which is fine. You could always leave it as a strip. You could make a banner out of it. I just wanted to have a little bit of something. A little bit of movement, I guess. Okay, so on the other card, I probably used a mini dimensional, but I had forgotten I have these black dimensionals that we sell. We started selling them last year, and they are perfect for these cards. So I'm actually going to take two of these edges. This one's pretty thin. And then I'm going to take a bigger one, just one of them. There you go. It's just nice. Is the black, yeah, it'll help. You know, you won't see it popping out as much. You won't notice it. So anyway, over here, however it fancies you, you can attach your Happy Halloween. And this probably would have been really pretty with the other color, Blackberry Bliss. That probably would have been pretty as well. Okay, so can you see that? Happy Halloween. Now we're going to come back. We're going to come over here. We're going to add some bats. Now, here's all the bats. Let me just show you because these are fun. Look at all the bats. And I just like how this coordinates with the bats on the inside. I think that I'm going to take this size and put that there. I am going to pop it up as well. And I think once again, I'm going to take and just trim down the edge of the black dimensionals. If you don't use the outside of your dimensionals, like after you've finished using the, like the full size of the dimensionals, you always have that outside bit. Use them because it's the same thing, it's the same thickness, and you know, you should be thrifty with your dimensionals. So, all right. There we go. It's a little spooky. But again, with that shimmer and shine, love it. Now I think I'm gonna put one over here too. Let's do that. That one I'm actually gonna take a glue dot because I've already popped up the Happy Halloween. I think we might be finished with those. Can you see? All right, so let's close. It's gonna look like that. Now the kind of trickier piece, it's not hard at all, it was just hard to explain, for me to explain. We're going to put There Is Magic in This Night, and it's going to, you can see it's going to pop up from either side. There's this little trick right there. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. You have two pieces of basic black cardstock, and they're both cut at 1/2 inch by 1.5, and then I folded them in half. So I'm going to go back to my liquid glue. I'm going to turn my little label over. Okay, so since I know what I'm doing here, I am going to use the adhesive on one 1/4 of that piece. And I'm going to adhere it to the back center of that label. I'm going to do the same exact thing with this second piece. Put a little bit of glue on the outside, one of the outside quadrants. Then what's going to happen when I lay this down, the two centers are going to meet. Ooh, I don't think it's going to be even. That's okay. So it's going to look like an open T essentially. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add adhesive to that. So again, with the liquid glue. This is going to get a lot of movement, and so that's why you want to use the liquid glue. And then you're going, to just attach that to the corner. So you're going to put one side here, one side, it's hard to see with these dark colors, there. Okay, so you can see the back of it. I don't know if you can see that, it's too hard. And I did it upside down, which is why we use the liquid glue. Oh boy. Well, ay, guys. Okay. So it's a good thing to remember before you adhere something, make sure you're going in the appropriate direction. Ay. I'm just holding it now just to make sure it sticks. Okay. I think I'm going to add, that guy's big. I'm going to add a couple of the, well, no, I don't think I am. I'm going to leave it. What I am going to try and add is some of these iridescent pearls. So these you can purchase within the same suite. And I'm just scooping it up here with my Take Your Pick tool. This is not the Take Your Pick tool. That's your Take Your Pick tool. All right, you know what? It's easier. There you go. If your paper has some give. So these are really cool. The iridescent has all different colors. You know, some look more purple, some look more green. Actually, it'll be more, I don't know if it really even matters. I'm going to say it'll be more green, but we'll take some ones that kind of lean toward purple. I think that. And now we need another one. Where to put it though? Because I feel like that square is pretty full. Maybe we'll do two over here. Okay, come back with another one. Because, you know, if you follow me at all, you know I've got to have three. There, cute. All right, so the folded card. That's it, guys. Let me show you. Get all my goodies out of the way. So the folded card will look like this. No, it won't. It'll look like that. Well, it'll look either way. I think if you fold it up though, you can use, you can put that into a regular envelope. It's thick. There we go. I was too afraid to push that down. There you go. So you can send it in the mail. You probably would want to add on an extra stamp. There we go. And then to stand it up, see, the back side looks so nice and finished with that designer paper. And there we go. So once again, I will take a still shot of this specific color scheme and put it in on my blog so that you have that for reference. It's a funny way to do it on YouTube, but I really wanted to show you. I just thought it was a really great card. And you can use it for so many things. I'm actually envisioning balloons and birthdays and all kinds of fun things. So Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and I will see you soon. Please follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it as I'm trying to grow my business. Thanks so much. Bye.